Well, when I started, the expectations were a lot higher. Like where when you start, you're dreaming, you're reaching for the stars, and you're like, I want to do this, and I want to do that, and I want to do this, and I want to do that. And now it's almost like I can do this, and I can do that, and I can do this, and I'm going to do this. And I'm sort of like, before I was reaching everywhere, and now I'm almost like, I know what I want, and it's like, it's right here where I'm going. Before everything was outside, and now it's I trust myself more. So when you go in the studio, you're gonna play all these songs again and again and again. Do you remember those days out on the town, like a perfect pair, stand out in any crowd, you'd be walking tall, always looking so good, I'd be right there beside you, I just want to be with you.
Since their conception in the fall of 2008, Bacchus have rocked, rolled, skank, and soul. They combine a Toronto-born rhythm section with a guitarist who is called New York, Toronto, London, and a small town called Beamsville home. The fusion of rock, blues, folk, punk, and a little bit of disco have served to inspire an uncontrollable urge to dance in their listeners. Bacchus's explosive live shows leaves few in their seats. Bacchus are the perfect rock and roll triad, bass, drums, and guitar, a holy trinity. Their hook-filled songs, super tight rhythm section, and emotionally charged lyrics about anything from sex to drugs to rock and roll, and their onstage antics add up to one formidable dance rock power trio. The band forms rock-hard walls of sound featuring heavy-handed drumming, groove-inspired bass lines, and quick little guitar hooks with layers of delays, distortions, and wahs. Bacchus' energy is so contagious they seem to be dancing right beside you while you're singing right along.
Alright, oh, now I'm being recorded. Cool.
Don't worry, we'll put a paper bag over
Alright,
there.
so do you guys, are you recording right now, or?
We're just about to go into the studio.
Okay.
Yeah.
I liked when you guys rocked out. I was not so into it or fond of it when you guys were playing like the slower stuff. Like the first song, I was a little kind of confused. The second song was a lot more, it sounded more like a niche that you have to explore. Reason being that your vocals are really distinct. Like you have a rock and roll voice, and you kind of have to capitalize on that. I mean, I love rock and roll, but when I sing, I sound like Tinkerbell, you know. So I can't sing that
more
stuff.
Whiskey and cigarettes.
I know, right? Which you know, you'd be surprised at how much of that I consume, and still nothing. However, I think it's something you guys really have to realize that when you're playing, what you're playing doesn't really fit your vocals, you can't fight that. And I think it's like what Jeremy said earlier. You really have to take away the band and figure and like listen to yourself sing, and maybe record yourself or do something along those lines, and then hear what you like about your voice. And it really, I don't want to sound like a bitch, but it has to be when you rock out. And even like if you guys were doing ballads and that sort of thing, your vocals have to be a lot stronger, because when you're dipping down and you're playing the slower stuff, and it's almost like your vocals drop out, and it's you kind of sound pitchy and you kind of sound weird, and it's almost as if like you're not committing. But when you're like up there and you're rocking out with it, it sounds like you're a lot more committed. So you really have to explore that, and just keep playing, because you guys need to tighten up.